Hey, what's up guys? Back with another router review. We got the ASUS RT-AXE7800. This is a tri-band router that supports Wi-Fi 6E and internet speeds of up to 2.5 gigabits. Now, I am going to unbox this thing. I'm going to do some speed tests and range tests full on just like I normally do and show you guys what the app looks like as well. So we do have the 6 GHz band, which is for Wi-Fi 6E, has this 160 MHz channels. However, do keep in mind it does say subject to regulatory limitations and coexistence with the 5 gig Wi-Fi. So it may not have it in certain regions because of those regulations. However, it is available in the States if you guys are wondering. And we have the AI protection, which comes standard with pretty much any ASUS router. And we have the ASUS Router App, which gives you a whole bunch of options, and we have the parental control. So let's go ahead and unbox this thing and see what it looks like. So right off the bat, it looks really cool. Antennas look cool. See, they pop up like this. Yep. Got the triangle. We got the hexagon shape. Kind of looks like a frisbee. You could throw it. Just kidding, guys. Don't throw this thing. Alright, so we got the ports, we have power, we have 4 gig LANs, we have a 2.5 gigabit WAN, and we have a USB 3.0, which I'm assuming is for sharing a hard drive through the network, which I've done with other ASUS's like the ASUS RT-AXE8, for example. Alright, so I taped this section which has all the Wi-Fi info, but basically you can wall mount this. You have the WPS button, we have on and off, and we have the reset right here. We got some instructions, stop, call us if you need help, sort of thing, VIP. We have a Cat5e Ethernet cable, and we have the power right here. And the power is 100 to 240 volts right here. Good to go. So I got a chance to play with this thing, set it up as my main router, did all my speed tests and range tests like I normally do, using my iPhone 14 Pro Max, which is my Wi-Fi 6 device, and the combination of my Pixel 7, I messed up, my Galaxy S23 Ultra and my Pixel 7 Pro, which are my Wi-Fi 6E devices, both of which gave pretty similar numbers. Now, I experienced no drops, super easy to set up using the ASUS Router App, which is available both on iOS and on Android. They also have a web interface, which gives you a gajillion options. Alright, so let's jump straight into the internet speed test. Now, these will vary based on your ISP, your internet service provider. For me, my internet speeds are 5 gigabits download and upload, so they are crazy fast. And this router is not fast enough to handle those speeds because we have a 2.5 gigabit port. Now, my previous internet speeds were 940 down and 880 up, and this would be perfect for that. However, as soon as I connect to this 2.5 gigabit port, my internet speeds are automatically capped to 2.5 gigabits. And as soon as I go out of this port to go to my switch, which then connects to my computer, I get down to gigabit speeds. Now I can use aggregation to go to 2 gigs. However, I didn't use that. I just sticked with the simple setup, which is basically going in at 2.5, coming in at gigabit speeds. Now, when I do an internet speed test on my computer, because it's hooked up via Ethernet, I do get pretty much right around 940 up and down. So it is going as fast as the router will let it go. However, when I did the internet speed test using Wi-Fi devices, because they're wirelessly connected, you can actually in theory go faster. And as you guys could see with my Wi-Fi 6 device, went decently fast. Not quite as fast as the Ethernet. However, Wi-Fi 6E was able to go faster than gigabit during the internet speed test. Now, to find out the true performance of this router, I do a local speed test server where I make my computer into the server and I go from Wi-Fi device to router to computer. I've done a separate video on this where I go into great detail. Links below if you guys are interested. Product links will also be down below if you guys are interested. Now, again, because my computer is hooked up to the gigabit port of this thing, I am going to be capped to gigabit speeds. So as you guys can see in the results, Wi-Fi 6 device did better than the internet speed test. However, Wi-Fi 6E was capped to just around gigabit speeds. Jumping into range tests. Range will vary based on location. If you're in between floors, if you have a lot of thick walls, if you're in a building with a lot of other routers and walls around, all of this stuff can negatively impact your range. So in my case, this thing did phenomenal. At 20 feet away, hardly a drop, 50 feet, still flying. It was actually doing very well, especially for the Wi-Fi 6E device, until about 250 feet, which was kind of crazy. And this thing did go up to 350 feet, which is insane. For something of this price range to go that far and still get me a signal with pretty good ping and jitter. For setup and configuration, use the ASUS Router App, which is available on iOS and on Android. And you basically just connect the 2.5 gigabit to your modem, and then you're able to use the other Ethernet ports to connect to your other devices like your Switch, your computer, your PlayStation, whatever else you want to connect it to. And then Wi-Fi devices will automatically connect to this, assuming you use the same Wi-Fi name and password as the router you're replacing. And do keep in mind the Wi-Fi name and password are both case sensitive. Now, as far as Wi-Fi names, a common question I get asked is, hey, can I separate out the bands? Meaning, can I have a separate Wi-Fi name for the 2.4 and the separate one for the 5 and the separate one for the 6? And the answer is yes, you can. So this thing gives you 3 different sets of options. So the first option is you can have a separate 2.4, 5, and a 6 with different names for all 3. The second option is you can have the 2.4 and 5 as one Wi-Fi name and then 6 gigahertz as another Wi-Fi name. And the third option is you can have all 3 combined to one Wi-Fi name. And if you're wondering, well, if I combine all 3 to one Wi-Fi name, how will it determine some of the security cameras connect on 2.4? Will it know that? And the answer is yes, it does know that. So based on the device you're using, or depending on how far you are, it will switch the device to the appropriate band, basically. And you get parental controls, which are included, which might be surprising to some, but some manufacturers actually charge a subscription for that. So this includes it. This includes AI protection. This also supports AI mesh. So if you get another one, another ASUS router that supports AI mesh, you can combine these to create a mesh network. And you get VPN options, and you can also share a network drive if you plug it into the USB of this thing. I mean, don't expect crazy fast speeds out of the network drive itself, but you can do that. And really, I mean, we can sit here for like 2 more hours just talking about the options, but ASUS is pretty much number one when it comes to options that come with a router. Now, is it worth getting this thing? Why or why not? Well, it depends on your situation. So let's start with, if you have internet speeds of up to 2.5 gigabits, this thing will work for you, especially if you're only really going to use it in Wi-Fi mode. However, for Ethernet devices, coming out of this, if you use aggregation, you could get to 2 gigs, and if you don't use aggregation, you're going to be capped to gigabit speed. So do keep that in mind. Now, if your internet speeds are gigabit and below, then this router is amazing for the following reasons. You get really good speeds, you get really good range, and you get a ton of options for a fairly good price. So let me know what you guys think in the comment sections below. And as always, smash that subscribe button. I have a whole bunch more router reviews coming out and mesh Wi-Fi reviews coming out. Man, I'm like messing up here. But the next one is the Ray ARGR6, followed by a TP-Link Archer. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.